Okay, in chapter 8, we have a long document, and in this document, we're going to add a table of contents, actually a cover page to the front of it, a table of contents, mark things in our document to go in an index, and at the very end of the document, we're going to build an index. We're not going to type any of these things. All we're doing is marking text, like for our index, and I'll show you how it's marking things to put in your table of contents. So very little typing, but uh, when we get done, we'll have a formatted report and it'll look good. So let me share my screen with you here. Here's the assignment. Hopefully you've downloaded it. I'll show you how to build a cover page, blank page, put in a table of contents. We'll do some work with graphics and captions, how to keep lines together or keep with next and keep lines together. Create headers and footers. We'll do footers basically in this one and mark your index entry so that we can build an index, and I'll show you how a table of contents is how it's created. So here's what it's going to kind of look like. You'll have a cover page, you'll have a table of contents, you'll have several pages of text in between for the report, and at the end, you'll have an index. So let's get started. I'll move this out of the way. First thing you need to do is download this file, British Rock Bands, and open it in Word, and you'll see something that looks like this. So save it as British Rock Bands and your initial and last name. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to save it out to my desktop. British Rock Bands D. Ferguson. So I've already saved this one out on my desktop when I was building it, so I'm just going to save over it. Okay, number 3 says modify the normal style, so it's Century Gothic 11 justified alignment. So it doesn't matter where you are in your document, just right click the normal style, go to modify. We're going to change the font to Century Gothic. And again, these are in alphabetical order starting here at the line, but I've already used it today, so mine's at the top. Century Gothic 11 point, and I want it to have justified alignment so that all my paragraphs will be justified. Hit OK. Select the title. So the first 2 lines of title, select that. And we want this to be Century Gothic 20 point, bold, 12 point spacing after. And we're going to make it left align. So this we don't need to have justified. So I'm basically turn it off and make it left aligned again. Okay, move in front of prepared by and just hit your enter one time. And we'll get ourselves a blank line here. Let me put myself a note. Okay, so I'll come back and kind of clean this up myself later. Okay, so right here, we're going to put in a graphic, insert picture. Hopefully you've already downloaded this um, file, Cream JPEG. Just go ahead and click on it, insert it. And I don't expect you guys to know who these people are, but actually back in the 60s, this was a very popular group, and you may even know this guy here on the right from the 90s and on till today. That's Eric Clapton, played in the group Cream back then. So anyway, click on the graphic, and we want to rotate it. You've got several ways you can do it. Right here, you've got the little rotate button. You can just drag and rotate it wherever you want. Well, I'm going to turn it up on end. Easier way to do it probably is go to rotate here on the format tab, and you notice as you move through. So that's kind of Beatle-esque there. But if I wanted you to take and flip the graphic horizontal, you could do that. So like if we were sitting here and we didn't like the direction they were looking, we could say, okay, flip it horizontal, we'll get them back the other direction. So anyway, this time we just want to put them up on, let's see if I can get it going the right way. I think that's the way I want it right there. Okay, so put in the graphic and all we're doing is rotating it to the left 90 degrees. Okay, while you still have it selected, let's make it 6.25 wide, which now is our, not our width, but our height to this thing. Okay, and what else did I want to do to it? Add the caption. So click on your graphic, and if you remember under references, um, you can go in and insert caption. When it pops up, it'll say figure one. I'm just going to put a colon, space, cream, 1968. And I'm telling it to put it below the item, and it should put it right below the item there. Okay, we may have to still do a little work here with the size of the graphic, but we'll see. But right here, select on author. Let's go in and let's make the spacing after 0, and that might give us enough room. So right here for your for author, put in your name. Okay, junior contributor, and Sound Press really ought to be italics. Um, so it's the name of a magazine. And then put in today's date. I'm just making up a date. Okay, so uh, graphics, you can may have to resize if this were um, falling off the bottom of the page, we may have to resize the graphic so that the stuff at the bottom would come back on, but that looks pretty decent. Okay, let's see. Add your name. We did that. Move the insertion point after the date and insert a hard page break. So right here after the date, put in a control enter. Now, if you go back up and look at the second page, you'll see a hard page break that's in there. Okay, on this page, I'm going to want to put a table of contents, but the next page will be the introduction here. And by the way, if it gave you an extra blank line, you can certainly get rid of that. You should get rid of that. But on this, right after the page break, just click right after the page break, right before the paragraph mark. I want you to put in um, a next page section break. And again, it may give you that blank line. You can get rid of that blank line there. But you should see on the second page a page break and a next page section break. So it's saying when you get to the next page, I want you to be in section 2. If you can't see what section you're in, right click on the status bar, go to section, turn it on, and you'll see it down here in the bottom corner. You'll see you're in section 2. So that's to me is very helpful. Um, Okay, so we've got our section break in, move in front of the heading, the British invasion. So again, hopefully you got rid of the blank line above it. So we've got um, our headings need to be Century Gothic 13-point bold. So select it, make it 13-point bold. And for these, um, let's see. Then I didn't tell it what to be, but it should be left aligned. Okay. So once you get that set up, you have a bunch of headings in here. And what we can do is select it, select the heading, right click on heading 1, tell it to update the heading 1 to match selection. Then as you go down through here, you can turn off show hide. Then as you go down through here, you can select, I'm just holding my control key down. Hold your control key down, select all the headings. So I'm selecting a heading for each section here. And I'm letting go of my control key and then selecting the next one, holding it down to select the next one. So pick them up. There's a bunch of them down through there. Get all the way through conclusion and tell them all to be heading 1 style. So heading 1 style looks really good. Okay, let's see, what are we doing next? Select the heading. We did that. Okay. Make the other headings heading 1 style. We did that. Okay. Create a footer just in section 2. So if you click in section 2, down here at the bottom of the page, for this page, the introduction, the British invasion. If you click in this page, you'll see you're in section 2. And if you move down here, double click in the footer, um, you can turn off link to previous. That's the first thing you need to do. And I want you to type the Titans of British Rock. The Titans of British Rock. Okay. A footer is set up in 3 pieces. So if you hit tab, it'll take you to the middle section. Hit tab again, it'll take you to the right section. Or before we started, if we just needed something on the right, we could have right aligned. But we're going to put in page space one time and go to page number, current position, and choose plain number. So we want it to drop in a plain number. In this case, I don't want it to be page 3. So this is a field, remember. So if you go to page number, format page numbers, you can tell it to start at 1. Then you can close your header and footer. Oh, one more thing I wanted to do. Go back into your footer for a second. I wanted to add a top border. So just a regular top border. If yours is not giving you what you need, it's just a regular top border, half inch, half point, and a color automatic, and it's up here on the top. So again, when you get done, close your header and footer, and it'll be on that page forward. You won't see it on the title page. You won't see it on that second blank page, but from the British invasion page on, you got it. Okay. So let's see, turn on show hide and go look for our hard page break. So let's go back up here to the second page and turn on show hide. And I'm going to click right here in front of page break. And what I'm going to do is drop in a table of contents. So if you go to references, table of contents, notice there's one here, table automatic table 1 has contents as the heading. This one has table of contents as the heading. This one's manual. I'm just going to ask you to do this on the test. Just choose this built-in here, automatic table 1, and let it drop it in there for you. So your page numbers to this point are in pretty good shape. You drop in the table of contents. Well, how did it know to put these things in the table of contents? Well, it knows because you told this to be heading 1 style. If you had heading 2 headings in here as well, it would have put them in this table of contents and it would have made them indented under each section. So that's the importance of using the heading 1, heading 2 styles as you go through your document. When you get done, when you spit them out, it'll build this table of contents for you, just spits it out, and it's perfect. So love it. Okay, let's see. I want us to go to the bottom of the document. So control end. And when you get to the end of the document, just control enter and get yourself a blank page. And I'm going to type index and hit enter. Okay, type index and hit enter. Now, what I want you to do is select the word index and make it heading 1 style. And we're going to drop in an index here. But before we do that, we've got to mark words to go into the index. So do Control F for me and type in automatic, capital A, double tracking. And so tap the whole thing and you'll see it may have multiple instances of the word down here, but you'll see instances of where the word is used in your document, or words in this case. Click this first one. It'll select it, so you don't even have to select it. It's doing it for you. And let's go back into references, and on the index section here, tell it you want to mark this to go in your index. So it marks it. All you have to do is hit the mark button, hit close, and you'll see that it's doing it for you here. So it's putting this in show hide. I mean, this does not show up normally, but if you look in show hide, you'll see that you marked it. Okay. Open G tuning. So again, it finds it select it, references, mark entry, mark, close. Okay. Echoplex delay. Echoplex delay. So again, select or click it, mark entry, mark, close. I'm just going to do each one of these. Clavinet. Well, I must have spelled the word wrong. Let me try again. Okay, so I got it spelled right that time for pyrotechnics. Okay, so again, make sure you type all the words out so that it'll select the whole thing. When you get to feedback, notice it has three different places it's being used in this document. So this time I'm going to do something a little different. When I go to mark entry, I'm going to choose mark all. I want it to show every place that it's using feedback. Okay. So just choose mark all on that one so we can look at it here in a minute. Heavy metal. Again, notice that there are 5 places it's using heavy metal. You of course don't want to mark it in your table of contents. Uh, you don't want to mark it in a place where like Cream was not a heavy metal band. And so as you work your way down, you don't want to mark it in a title, a heading. So look for it in like under Black Sabbath, there's a heavy metal is just in the text. Mark it there and just do a mark. You don't have to do mark all on any of the rest of these. Punk rock, alternative rock, and Hammond organs. Okay, so we got all this marked now. You can close your little navigation or your find. You can turn off. Well, let's don't turn off show hide. Let's go to the bottom and well, we can turn off show hide. That'd probably be the best. Go to the bottom and right after index, I want you to drop in this table of contents. So there's certain things I want you to do here. So go to references and you'll notice there's an index section. You just marked everything. Click insert index. And if you choose, you'll see them here. If you choose different formats, you'll see how they look on in the preview. Some of them are better than others, just depends on what you like. But for me, I'm just going to leave it from template. I'm going to tell it to right align the numbers and use a dot leader, this little dot, 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 dot. And I'm going to tell it to be 2 columns. So hit OK. It'll drop it in. Again, this is a field and it's picking up wherever it finds these. You can see on feedback, it found it on 3 different pages, and that's what I told it to mark it all. Save your document. and go all the way back up to the top. So Control Home or scroll up where you can see your table of contents. Well, index should be in the table of contents. So if you right click the table of contents, I always ask you to do this when you get to the end of your document, you've done everything you're going to do. I always want you to go in and update the field, right click the table of contents, update the field, update the entire table, so that if you have moved any paragraphs around, any words around, uh, anything you've changed, then it will pick that up. The other thing is, if you look down here at the bottom, if let's say we moved a paragraph around, the index would have changed. So you need to right click the index, always update the field whenever you get through working on your document. Okay, so one last thing I want you to see. This is looking pretty good, but when you get through with a document, you always need to look at things like this right here. Do you see how this Rolling Stones um, is away from its paragraph that it goes with? So what I always do, well, by default, we have something called widow orphan. It won't let a line of a paragraph go on by itself. It won't orphan a line by itself on the next page. So it's doing that by default. And let me show you where that's at. By the way, just select this heading here, the Rolling Stones. Actually, select the Rolling Stones through the paragraph underneath it. And if you go to the Home tab, Home ribbon, and you click this paragraph dialog box launcher and go to the Line and Page Breaks tab, by default, it won't let widows or orphans happen to a block of text in a paragraph. But this is a paragraph by itself, this heading. So we can tell it, hey, I want you to keep with the next and hit OK, and it will keep those together. You can keep with next, or you can keep two lines together. So that will keep those things from happening. But whenever you get through with a document, you always want to go back and look at it and say, okay, these page endings are looking right. There's nothing that's messed up on the ends and bottom of these pages. Okay, but what does that mean? That means you still need to right click your index, update it. You still need to go to the top, right click your table of contents, update the entire table. So you want to make sure at the very end that everything is clean and it's done. So again, save your document. You can upload that as part of as your chapter assignment, and let me know if you need something.